Hi, my name is Jeff Day, and I'm a user and frequenter of the zombiegame.com forum, um, and a fan of Flying Frog games. And I've just gotten these two today, an expansion for Last Night on Earth called Blood in the Forest, which I just did an unboxing video for. So check out that video if you haven't already. I'm going to set that to the side now. And the other one I've got is Invasion from Outer Space, the Martian game, which I'm going to unbox right now. Now this game is basically rules compatible with Last Night on Earth. So there are possibilities of blending these together, although this is really designed to be a standalone game of a different theme. And I'm not sure it's entirely clear cut exactly how you would blend them both, but here it is. So I'm gonna pull the box top off. All right. So first thing we have is a rule book. It's 31 pages long. Glance through this just real quick here. It looks very typical of Last Night on Earth. They've also done the thing where they've divided this into an advanced game and a basic game. Yes. Let's see here. Cool. They've added something called hard walls, which have black and red striped lines. They work exactly the same as normal walls, except models cannot see through them, even if they're adjacent to the hard wall. The only exception is that a model may draw a line of sight straight through a door that they are adjacent to in a hard wall. Very cool. They have crowds, which look like they function somewhat like the fires in Timber Peak. They do have a way to add some zombies in here. Interesting. So there are some official zombie rules in the book. Some rules for how to mix up some things. So that looks like it's pretty cool. So there's the rule book. I'm gonna set that over here. And the next thing I find is the center board piece. Invasion from Outer Space logo here. This looks like it's the big top tent, I'm guessing. This is cool. It's different to see that logo instead of the other one. And on the other side, we have kind of a fair sign and some flag banner things look like they've kind of fallen down. Looks like some bad stuff has happened there. Creepy. Okay, so there's a center board. We have L-shaped boards. I think there's 6. Fortune teller, House of Horrors, concession stand on one. They're black on the other side. Huh. This is not a good sign. It looks like I have a damaged board. Not on the back of this one, but the top of the other one. Looks like it's got the color scratched off, and there's some white kind of powder on everything. Interesting. Not a big deal. It's only a tiny, tiny spot on the board. But there's one corner. This next one, the one with the damaged bit right there. Yeah, there's no gloss right there. It's kind of cracked through the picture. The Old Curiosity Shop, animal pens, and the shooting gallery. the arcade, the storage room, and the second stage tent. Now, I'm looking at these to see if they're warped, because that was a question with the last unboxing. No, these are minimally warped, if at all. They seem very, very flat compared to the other ones. Then we have the fire wagon, the lion tent, and the magic wagon. Magic with a K. Not magic with a C and a K. Magic with just a K. That's some real special magic. And board number 5 is Rode into Town, Trapeze Tent, and a Ferris Wheel. And finally, board number 6 has the Fun House and the Bear Tent. The first sheet of markers. We've got a Martian flying saucer. We have 8 fire tokens, just like the ones in Timber Peak, which means that these can actually be moved over and used with the zombie game. Since I already know the fire rules, I could combine these in to add fires to our games with Blood in the Forest. Even if my friend isn't over who has Timber Peak. It does say Martian's choice, though, instead of Zombie's choice. We'll have to hire a Martian to come over and decide which way the fire spreads when we're playing Last Night on Earth. Other than that, the graphic on the fire token looks identical. Okay, we have 2 proto-bomb markers. They look kind of like lotus seed pods. Very creepy things. One, maybe they're supposed to be a sphere, though. Yeah, 2 of those. It says Martian Tech on the other side. We have 6 of these. I don't know what I'm calling them yet, because I haven't really read the rules on this. They're like spawning pits, I think, but they're like Martian teleportation pads or something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we have number counters from 1 to 8 with the Invasion from Outer Space logo on the other side. Okay, that was the first sheet of markers. Second sheet of markers. It's got what I think are Martian tech points, if I had to guess, and some sort of experience point, possibly, for the carnival heroes. Lots of these. $20 of the tech points and 15 of those other ones. Let me pop those out. And while I'm doing that, we've got lights out markers that look a lot like the ones from Last Night on Earth, with a different hero, of course, on the face of the token. You know, the back side of this is quite a misprint. These are really far off. So far off that the sun tracker, I'm getting distracted here, but the back side of the sun tracker token is off by that much. This is actually the worst misprint I've seen in an otherwise great quality set of die cut markers, and this whole sheet is like that. So all those experience tokens and the ones with the stars are offset by like a third of an inch on this particular side. That's a shame. Sorry about that. My battery died on the camera, and I just flipped to another one. These are just going off the charge that came when it arrived, so I haven't charged it up yet. Like I said, it's a brand new camera. So I was just punching out these tokens on the sheet that's misprinted, or that's offset printed on the other side. Okay, the lights out tokens, we've got 3 of these, and fortunately they're black on the other side, which means the misprinting doesn't affect them. 2, 3. We've got Cone of Light. It looks similar to Taken Over. 3 of those. 1, 2, 3. We have a little unicycle. We have some Carnival Allies. Jimmy, Doc Mesmer, Texas Jack, the Farini twins, Fuji Merman, and Bosley the elephant. And we have what I think was a sun tracker and a couple of scenario trackers, a red one and a gray one that looks like the moon. The misprint doesn't really affect the gray one. The red one has just a sliver of the moon on it. That's not too bad. Really, the sun tracker got it worst of all. And a third sheet of tokens. There's actually 4 sheets in this game. So this one has the crowd markers, which look a lot like the way the fire markers work. Fortunately, they're printed well on this sheet. Everything looks nice and lined up well. So we've got 4 crowd markers. 2, 3. Make that 5. There's 5 crowd markers. We have 2 Martian champions, a leader and a beast, the Zard beast. These unlike the zombie champions from the Blood in the Forest, are on round counters that say Martian champion and have the stats on this side. They look pretty cool. So there's one each of those. The rest of the sheet has wound markers and the invasion from outer space with the flying frog dressed in the Martian suit. Very cool. I'm not going to punch all those out right now. Make sure, yeah, there are wounds on both sides. Okay, the final sheet of markers, we have 2 lions. That's what a lion looks like. 1, 2. We have 2 cannons. Cannon. 1, 2. We have 4 explosives markers. They are barrels of TNT. We have 4 Martian pylons. I guess these guys go off of the same system as the Protoss in StarCraft. Four of those. They also say Martian tech. We have a... It's not a sun tracker in this game. It looks like a landing tracker, because on the top it has the moon with a bunch of ships passing by it, and at the bottom it has the surface of the Earth. So that's our turn tracker for this game. Then we have a cannonball range thing, which apparently, wow, that's hard to pop out, that end piece. Use my pen. There. And on the other side it looks like it is some sort of Martian laser tracker. Cool. And we have some random items here that are probably used in different scenarios. The Book of Death, crystal ball, and 3 fishes. Cool enough, they actually have 2 different graphics for the fish. One of them is kind of flopped a different way. So we've got 2 fish with this graphic, and we've got 1 fish with this graphic. And a whole bunch of kerosene markers. 12 of them. They have kerosene on both sides. That finishes off that sheet. We have a soundtrack with 12 tracks of music, something you don't find in a lot of games. Instructions on how to attach the Martian helmets to the Martians. We'll look at those miniatures here in a bit. Got some decks of cards here. It looks like this is all hero deck. There might be some other things in here too. Let me open up this plastic and see. not quite as crunchy as the other decks. They still feel the same. So yeah, this is all hero deck with some 3 turn summary cards. For anyone who hasn't played this game, the Martian turn summary and how it differs from the zombie turn summary, I don't know what all these mean yet, but move the invasion marker, that must be the turn counter, draw new Martian cards, roll for reinforcements, then you've got a command phase, move the Martians, fire ray guns, fight heroes, and land new Martians. After the Martian turn, there's a fire phase, if there are currently any fires on the board. Okay, the other deck of cards is the Martian deck. Oh, that one was crunchy. Yes. We have 3 more turn summaries. And the rest of these are all Martian deck cards. Pretty straightforward. Okay, so the next thing we have is the command console for the Martians. It looks like you can spend tech points to perform different actions. One side of this is for if there is 1 Martian player, and the other is for if there are 2 Martian players. It looks like some of the cost and descriptions of this is a little different. Then we have heroes and scenarios. So let's start from the top. Archibald, the human cannonball. R.J. Flanagan, ringmaster. Carl, the strongman. Angelica, the bearded woman. That just looks awful. In a good way. Not that good. These are really stuck together. We have Hannah, the fire breather. Lucrezia, the contortionist. Cassidy, the trick shooter. And last but not least, Jojo, the dancing bear. Game scenarios. Unleashed. Oh, let me show you. That's what a scenario card looks like. Lots of text on that one. Invasion. This one uses one of those counters. Abduction. Wipe them out. And blow them out of the sky. Cool. And we have a bag of dice. This time they've given different colors of dice. So there are the little white dice with black pips, just like in the other game. And then you have 6 green dice with white pips. I'm assuming those are for the Martian player, but I'm not sure. We'll find out. 10 of the white dice. And then we've got miniatures. Miniatures galore. I am really surprised to find out that the heroes are not gray. They're kind of a purpley gray. In fact, I would call this the purple version of the blue color that Blood in the Forest used for its monsters. Oh yeah, these are cool. Ringmaster, Fire Breather, Strongman, Dancing Bear. I don't remember all the characters. Trick Shooter. Human Cannonball. And two girls that I don't remember. One of them is the Contortionist. This one. This is the Bearded Woman. Ugh. Okay. And opening up the last bag. Well, I say that, but there's a bag in the bag. And the inner bag is helmets for Martians. I'm going to set those to the side. But here is the Zard Beast, the first miniature that doesn't require a base because it is so big. Then we have the Martian Commander. He's a dark gray color, the same color as the Zard Beast. Then we have purple and blue Martians in various poses. So those are the color, purple and blue. We've got some pointing their gun forward, some that are pointing their gun up, and some that are pointing the gun kind of down and forward. And total, it looks like there's 9 Martians on each team, each color here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep. So we've got 9 purple and 9 blue. I guess I'll take a helmet out and show what it looks like here. They're like little plastic caps. These are almost certainly something else that is repurposed into Martian helmets. I really doubt these are made specifically for the game, although everything else is custom. So when you set those on, they look like that. After these are painted, those would be glued on. Very cool. I'll put that back in the bag. So this has been Invasion from Outer Space, the Martian game. It looks really fun, really cool. I'm excited to kind of keep this as a standalone game, although I'll borrow these fire tokens from time to time. Because this looks like a good game to introduce people into the Flying Frog world with. And then I'll keep all my zombie stuff amassed together in the 30-pound box it has become for the serious gamers to play. But this looks really cool. Surprisingly, the quality on this particular set of the Invasion game is lacking in some areas where Blood in the Forest actually was higher quality than this, which was opposite of what I was expecting. I really wish that one board segment wasn't damaged. The tokens being misprinted, not as big of a deal. It's mostly the one counter that it really affected. Who really cares if your Martian tech tokens are shifted off like that? They still work. They look okay. At least there's one side that's pretty close to correct. So they'll work. No real complaints there. It looks like a fun game. Thanks for joining me here. Check out my other videos if you haven't already. I have some on painting on the miniatures that I've painted, and I have the one on the Blood in the Forest expansion. That's it for today. Thanks.